What's going on, geeks? My name is Cody Armour, and it is Friday, which means it's time to catch you up on what's going on this week in the world of geek. Starting off with video games, there was not a ton in the video game realm right now, but there was one thing, and it is huge. It is about Valve, but it is not Half-Life 3. No, it's actually about Steam. They're getting rid of their Greenlight system. Greenlight was the way that games got chosen to be put on Steam, and it was user-based, which was really cool. And through it, 6,000 video games have been released. Just think of that number. That is a lot of video games. But apparently, it has caused a lot of problems for not only developers, but players, and so Steam is calling it a stepping stone. They said it's time to move on. Now, instead of Greenlight, if you are a developer and you want to get your game on Steam, you're gonna have to pay a fee. You already had to pay $100 before. That went to charity. Now it seems like it's probably going to be a little bit more, but they're not decided on that yet. Steam says it could be $100 still, or it could be up to $5,000. Now, I'm guessing that it's probably not going to be $5,000. That does seem to be a little bit extreme. But I think the premise of this fee is going to weed out the not serious developers. Basically, they want to raise that price just high enough that you're only releasing this game if you think it'll sell. It's basically a form of quality control. We'll see how it goes. And then moving on to some video game / movie news. The Division is going to be getting a movie. Ubisoft is saying that it is well on its way. And if that sounds vague to you, that's because it is. The movie has a ton of hurdles to get through still, including finding a Hollywood studio to actually make it. So it is very much in its beginning phase, but Ubisoft is doing their best to get it through that process so that they can get the movie made. Which is good news, because the Assassin's Creed movie didn't do awesome, but I love the idea of video games being turned into movies, and I hate that movies doing poorly has kind of slowed that down. These movies don't always get the highest budgets because they're worried because they don't know how well they'll do, and it's kind of an endless cycle because of it. But The Division has a great storyline, definitely set up for movies. I think it could be really good. And then I should probably talk about the video's namesake, Firefly, talk about what's going on with that. There are articles all over talking about a Firefly reboot. And so I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to preface this with, don't get your hopes up. Fox President David Madden has suggested that he'd be open to the idea. See, vague terms there. And only if Joss Whedon, who is making amazing movies right now, is on board. So I am as hopeful as the rest of the Browncoats. Please let this happen. But I don't want to get my hopes up because there are a lot of variables and it takes a lot to get a show done. That said, Nathan Fillion and a few other actors are all for it. So Joss Whedon, here's my idea. Please make the movie canon. I think a lot of people want the show to take place between the series and the movie, but so many things happen in the movie, and you're not going to get a lot of characters because of the movie. Spoilers. But I say get a fresh cast in, have Nathan Fillion and all of the other actors cameo in it all the time. Just always. But make it a broader universe. That way, if it's awful, we can still love our old show and you won't ruin it. And you don't have to worry about so much of the cast coming back. I think that would be great. You don't have to worry about scheduling. You can have a whole new cast that is determined to get this done. And Nathan Fillion, because that would be wonderful. If he could just captain another ship and then he sees other characters throughout his journeys, I'm totally fine with that. That'd be great. Anyways, going on to some Netflix news. This is so weird. I can honestly say I have no idea how I feel about Shankar. He's a director. Shankar is working on 2 different shows for Netflix. One of them is Castlevania. It's going to be live action. He says that it's going to be very Game of Thrones-esque, saying that it's going to be a very hard R, so be content aware, obviously. And for Castlevania, I totally understand this. I mean, the games are very dark in themselves. Why wouldn't the show? The one that's a little more confusing is Power Rangers. You may or may not remember in 2015, there was this really super dark, gritty Power Rangers short that Shankar made. And if I remember correctly, it was kind of a parody on how dark and gritty reboots have gotten. But now he is talking about making another Power Rangers thing on Netflix. It is going to be animated, which I think is very interesting because we already have Voltron on Netflix. But he says this animated show is also going to be very dark and gritty, much like his bootleg reboot thing. Hyper-violent is his words. So yeah, I understand a PG-13 Power Rangers. I think a PG-13 Power Rangers is awesome. Don't know if I need a hard R Power Rangers. It just seems kind of weird. But that's where we're going to end today's show. Question of the day. How do you feel about dark and gritty reboots? Do they go too far? What point do they go too far? I think when you make them rated R when they were little kids shows. but that's just me. As always, I want to know what you guys have to say, so please leave a comment in the comment section down below with your answer. Also, make sure you check out geeksundergrace.com for more geeky content. My name is Cody Armour, and this is a show we do every Friday that lets you stay up to date on what's happening this week in the world of geek. We'll see you later. God bless.